Howdy and welcome. I'm Oliver the Shoe Man. Today we have a simple yet effective way to making your wedge soles last a whole lot longer. Now, wedge soles are super popular because they're really comfortable, they support your foot all the way through, and they're also known as a mudless sole because when you're walking in mud and dirt, it doesn't really track into these little grooves. The only thing is, compared to a boot with a rubber sole on there, the rubber soles are going to last a whole lot longer, but you have that issue with it not supporting your foot all the way through. It can sometimes be not as comfortable. I know some people prefer a boot like this with a heel on it. Some people prefer a wedge sole. But the wedge soles, because they are a softer crepe material, they do tend to wear out a lot faster compared to obviously the rubber soles. And with these, when they do wear out, you have to replace the entire thing. And with people who are heavy on their heels, having to do that every, 4 or 5 months can get pretty costly, especially if you're really heavy on the heels. Whereas something with this, if you have to replace the heels, you can replace the heels without touching the soles. So what we're going to be doing today is doing a simple upgrade to these wedge soles. We're going to sand the tread down and we're going to put a rubber sole, a thin rubber sole, onto the wedge sole. That way you have the traction of a rubber sole. The rubber soles aren't going to be as deep or have any grooves in there, so it's not going to attract a lot of mud and dirt. It's going to have a give extra grippiness. Sometimes the wedge soles, they get a little slippery. And in the future, if he's hard on his heels, all we got to do is replace that instead of replacing the entire sole. Or sometimes we can literally just cut the back section off, put a new rubber sole on there. So we're going to get started sanding these soles down. And that way you could literally just glue a new piece on. So the first step in making sure we get this even is we have to just run our finger along the side. And you'll see that there's been a little line made. Now this is going to be my guide for as much as I'm going to take off. And there's obviously little ridges there. But we'll go ahead and follow. See, we'll go ahead and follow. It's a little, I might do a little less than that, but this is just going to give me a guideline, something to follow when I'm sanding. So we'll probably sand up to like right there, sand a little bit more. That's a little, I don't know if I'll take it that thin, but like I said, I'm just looking for some sort of guideline to follow when I'm at the sander, just to make sure I know both of them are the same and it's going to be even all the way throughout the sole. So as you can see, we didn't go past that pen line. Like I said, I didn't want to go too thin. We could always adjust, like if you wanted it thicker or thinner, we could do that as well. But we sanded it nice and flat. Now there's a few different sole options that we can go with, a few different colors. This is a black Spig crosshatch. we also have, like I said, a few different colors. This is a red skull sole by Vibra. I forgot what name this one was, but we got that one, this one, that one, a whole bunch of different styles. And if you want to change the color of the wedge, we could do that as well. We have different color wedge soles and the rubber soles. But for today, let's see, we have this one. It's a little bit different. Today we have, and what we're going to be using is very similar to the Svig crosshatch. It's the same thing, but it's a lot thicker. It's the thickest one that they come with. It's about 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to cut this out and glue it on top of that. Do our final trim, and then these will be done. But before we're able to glue the soles on, we have to clean up the bottom of the sole. This is acetone, and we will also clean up the bottom of the sole. And what this does is just removes any dirt, oils, or anything like that that is going to prevent the glue from adhering properly. So I use a contact cement called Top Fit, and it's for leather, it's for rubber, crepe materials like this, and it just works really great and works just like any other contact cement. You put a layer on, you let it dry, then you put it back, then you put the 2 layers together, hammer, press it on, let it cure, and then you're good to go. So that's the first layer on the boots. I have a heat lamp that will reactivate the glue once it's dried. But while we're putting glue on the soles, I just want to let you guys know, because most people don't know, that I do take mail-in repairs. So I am the first person to advocate for supporting local business. If you have a local caller that you trust and that you know 100%, go support them. But if you don't have a local caller, or you don't trust your local caller, which is pretty common these days, unfortunately, and you want to get something like this done to your boots, or you have a different project in mind, 85% of my business that I do here in Smyrna, Tennessee, which is right outside Nashville, is mail-in repairs. So all my contact information will be down below in the description. Feel free to reach out, email, text, call. I'm happy to help answer any questions you may have, give you a quote, sole options before you send them in. Alrighty, now that the glue has dried, it'll give us opportunity to glue and stick this guy onto the sole. Now, I know we put a pretty thick sole on there, but that is why I took a little bit more from the wedge sole as a base, so that you don't get such a super chunky sole. And now we're going to put this into my press, which is going to press the sole and let it cure before we trim it, sand it, and be done with it. Just like that. We'll let it sit there a couple seconds, and it's done. Now that it has plenty of time to cure, I will just trim off the excess. We'll take it back to the sander to clean up the edges. And it's, I mean, that pretty much that simple. The hardest part is making sure that the wedge sole is sanded flat, flush, and even with the pair, because you don't want one to be higher or taller than the other. You don't want any waves, because you're going to feel all that when you're walking. Okay, just like that, these shoes are all done. And not much has changed as far as aesthetically goes, except for obviously the bottom. But the benefits of doing this is it'll make your boots last longer. You won't slip around as much. It's easier to resole in the future because resoling these, we just gotta peel them off, glue a new piece on. Whereas if we had to resole a wedge sole, we have to take the wedge sole, the midsole off. We have to put new midsoles, new wedge. This is a lot easier, faster, and cheaper long term. So I highly recommend doing this if you have a new pair or a newer pair. If it's not too worn down in the back, we could always sand it flush and do it that way. But overall, very happy with how these turned out. The customer specifically requested we do this. This is a mail-in repair, if you're curious. And you should last them a really long time. Now, again, if you are really hard on your heels, in the future, instead of having, if there's plenty of grip right here, but it's worn out here, what we're gonna do is just slice it, glue a new piece on, and you're good to go for another round. So, I think that's it. It's a very simple, very fast thing we could do. Send your boots in if you want this done, or if you have another pair, another something that you want to get done. I'm very happy to help. But support your local callers if you have one that you trust. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Again, all my contact information will be down below. Feel free to reach out. As always, thank you. God bless you. Till next time.